Okay, so here's the deal. First of all, let's welcome Lisa Vanness back. Welcome, Lisa. So, you know how every now and again on this channel, I have to eat my words, and sometimes I have to eat them with a decent amount of crow. Well, today's going to be one of those days. So I have often said that people ask me what's my favorite rollerball or ballpoint or gel pen, whatever to use. And I've always said, if I can't use a fountain pen, I won't use a pen at all. And that has largely been true. But as anyone knows who has tried to fill out a carbon copy form or sign a receipt with a fountain pen, it's not pretty. So Lisa, in addition to selling fountain pens and ink like a pro, also is a fan of rollerballs, ballpoints, etc. So today, she's going to be giving me a crash course on some of the options available out there, differences between refill types, etc., and helping me pick out my first non-fountain pen. So, where should we start?
Well, let's start with the retro.
Okay.
So we're going to start with it in a rollerball. So the retro is something that I brought him as a gift, whether it becomes his favorite or not. And we also customized, so we put the Kermit on there because
you probably saw this in the currently inked, but it's Kermit the Frog on it.
So this has a rollerball in there right now. Mm-hmm. They're super reasonably priced. You can get them for $25, $30, easygoing. Mm-hmm. They write really well. Yeah,
this is much smoother than I was expecting. You know, I've grown up with the Uniball black ones with the little, like fins at the top of the cap, or the cheap Bic, sticks, etc. This is quite smooth and very easy. It doesn't require a lot of pressure. So this is a lot more fountain penny than I was expecting.
So the positive is it does write super smooth. Mm-hmm. Drawback, goes through a lot of ink. Mm. So we're going to stick a ballpoint in there. See, now I'm doing it with an extra fine, so you may not like the extra fine, but my vision is
And so
crap.
What size is, I assume this is a retro refill?
No, this is actually a Monteverde refill.
Okay.
It's a Parker style. Parker is a generic,
Mm-hmm.
Parker makes the refills, but it's a generic style.
I don't like this anywhere near as much.
That's the ballpoint.
Yeah, this feels too much like a Bic.
The ink dries more quickly on a ballpoint, and then we did do it in the extra fine.
Yeah, this just, I don't think ballpoints in general are really my thing, because it just feels too, that paste ink the ballpoints use is just not my favorite.
So this should be a super broad.
Okay.
And a ballpoint. I am actually more of a rollerball fan, but there's times when you need a ballpoint.
While she's refilling, I'm going to soothe my parched throat here.
There you go. This is actually blue-black ink.
Okay.
I think with the rollerball, you get more vibrant color,
So I will say the extra broad, or what sizes does this come in normally?
So extra fine, medium, broad, super broad.
Okay.
And that's a super broad. And it's a blue-black ink, and I don't know if they'll be able to see this, but you can see that this was black. Mm-hmm. This was blue. This is blue-black.
So I will say that I like the super broad more than the extra fine by a fair margin, but the rollerball still absolutely wins for me. So I think, rollerball.
So then we'll do a gel.
Okay.
Which is a gel ballpoint refill. And the only reason I'm putting in here is because it's handy and easy to switch these out real quick. Mm-hmm. But a lot of ballpoints that you buy, Aurora would be an example, take the Parker style refill. Mm-hmm. And this is the part, that kind of the little rose petal on the end. Okay. That's what we call a Parker
Actually,
style.
let me show that to the camera here. So you can see the little, I don't know how well you can see, but the little fins on the end. That's what determines it being a Parker style. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm missing. Here we go.
We haven't eaten lunch yet, and it's right around noontime, so she's starting to get the shakes.
I just always have the shakes.
She's going through withdrawals. It's fine.
Okay, so gel is an awesome way to write.
But it doesn't dry very fast.
Uh-oh. I could just mess up the paper there. So you can see. But look how vibrant that blue is.
Yeah, it's a nice bright blue, and this reminds me a lot more of fountain pen style ink.
So we had right here at the top, we had the roller ball, and then we have the gel ballpoint. In between, we have various ballpoints. Mm-hmm. So I'm sticking with the same pen so you can kind of compare all of them.
So does this come in sizes, like in different sizes, or is there one size for the gel ballpoint?
No, gel comes in more than one size if you go with, some brands only make one size, some make several sizes.
Okay.
But because it's a generic refill, you'll find these in a lot of even what they call kit pens that you get at, when we were at Pike's Place.
Pike Place Market, yep.
My guess is if we opened it, it would have been a Parker style refill in there.
Okay.
And whatever brand they happen to use. And so then you have all these different types within that. So.
Okay. Cool.
So I like gel.
I lean toward this, but I toward the whatchamahoots here, the rollerball, but I could see the gel being, especially with a slightly wider tip on that, I could see that being, I really like the vibrancy of it. And I use fountain penning, for crying out loud. A little bit of smearing doesn't bother me at all.
That's true, yeah.
So.
Okay, so then this is a retro. It's something that's super common. It's easy to get your hands on. They're all over the place and all over the country. So if we move along to the Aurora.
You can see what they can see in the screen over here. So.
Oh, cool. Okay, so this is the Monte Grappa. This is the Heartwoods. And these are really nice. I love the color, the trim. This has got a ballpoint in it, but we can put the gel in it because it takes a Parker style refill. Yeah. It's a new pen.
I love the color of the trim too.
So that's just a standard ballpoint in it, but I can actually switch it out to any of these. And I didn't show you the turquoise, so I could go ahead and put turquoise in there just for the heck of it.
I love the way this particular pen. I mean, it's heftier. It's a Monte Grappa. It's this is the Fortuna line.
Yeah.
So it's very similar to the Fortuna fountain pen, which I've reviewed in a couple of different variations.
So I'm going to let you try turquoise ink in it.
Okay.
See, it says Monte Grappa, but it's still that same.
Yeah.
I really like this pen. So I'll let you try different color ink.
Oh, okay.
And this, I believe, is a medium. So if you want to go with a fun color,
now you said this is a gel?
I can't remember. We'll pull it out. And when we pull it out, we'll see. So this comes in, they make purple, blue, green. They make all these really fun colors. Orange, yellow even, but they make red. So I love that you can still play with color when you get to some of these refills.
Cool. So this one you actually open, I'll just show her, instead of opening at the end like you do with the, so what is this? This is gel. Ceramic gel in a fine. Okay. It's a cool color.
I was trying to get a variety. So let's put the original back in just.
Okay. For tracking purposes. So yeah, this is, in the hand, I really do like the feel, and I bet this is probably the most expensive one we're going to look at too, because that's just the way I roll.
I know this one would be the most expensive.
Okay.
I love this one. And it comes in 3 colors. This is the Aurora.
Okay, why don't you
Oh,
over the paper.
Right.
She's not used to my funky multi-camera setup, so.
So you can see this pen. This is a color that they keep in their line for fountain pens, and I think you may have that in a.
Yeah, I do have an Aurora Optima in this color.
So it's a twist to open.
It's interesting. It's skinnier.
And again, we can switch it to gel or whatever we want because it is that what we call Parker style refill.
Okay, so all these are Parker styles so far. Are there other? I assume there are other styles of refill out there.
Well, this is the most common, and I would say that there's what we call cross style and Parker style are the 2 most common. There are other rollerball refills that are different shapes. And of course, some of these are proprietary, and I'll get to the proprietary in just a second. So the Aurora is a color that you can get where you have your matching pen and fountain pen if you want to have a set. Yeah. Because some people want to match.
Yeah. Obviously, I like the materials, this Auraloid material from Aurora a lot. This feels so much thinner than the fountain. The fountain pen has a little more width to it. I like a wide pen, so that's.
So now we're going to do a Lambie. I'm going to switch gears and we're going to do a Lambie Swift.
Okay.
So the Lambie Swift is a retractable rollerball. So that's kind of cool. They're really nice.
That's interesting. And when you click, I don't know if you saw this, but when you push it down, the clip goes away. It disappears so it doesn't get in the way. That's actually kind of cool.
And it's also a reminder, hey, to put it in my pocket, I need to.
Yeah. So you can't put it in your pocket with the clip if it's extended, which I've made that. Oh. Yeah.
So this is going to be one of my personal favorites. I should have saved it for last.
This refill is awesome.
And that comes in several colors. So I have an all black one also.
I'm guessing this is a Lambie proprietary refill. Of course it is. At least it's good.
I know.
You know, if you're gonna have your proprietary refill, you better make it better than what you can get.
So this is like lately in the last year been my go-to for people who want to spend under $100 and they want to get a gift for someone. I like this because it's engravable.
Oh yeah.
And the black is really awesome. They have this blue also, which we'll show everybody in a minute. I love the way that writes. That's really a really nice. I was excited for you to try that one. So these are the ones we've tried. Okay, so then we're continuing on with Lambie. So we have the studio, and you can see it has a little bit different clip. So I'm going to try to turn it where you can see that you get it both directions. Yeah. So this is the ballpoint version, and I can already tell that it won't be your favorite, and it's proprietary.
So what I'll say about all the ballpoints that I've tried is, and if you've used a ballpoint pen your whole life, you'll probably know this feeling, but it feels kind of like you're writing through mud. It's the ink is so thick, especially if you're used to fountain pen ink. It's like you feel like it drags along the page. It's like you have to use effort to move the pen. It doesn't just kind of float across. So it's not like you can just take it and kind of go. I mean, if you do this, it'll write a little bit on the paper. You can see it writes a little. If I just kind of do that, it writes a little bit. But you actually have to be a little more deliberate with it. Put a little bit more downward pressure on it. I feel now it's not like the really cheap, crappy ballpoints, but that thick ink, you lose a lot of that.
But they do, because they throw less ink, you can get more pages of handwriting out of it. So that's the drawback to fountain pen.
Yeah, I just don't like buying ink. I don't know. I feel like that's where they really get you, is on the ink.
I have nothing to do with this.
Yeah, only about a third of the ink back here came from her. It had nothing to do with it.
Well, listen, you were sticking it in your pockets, okay?
I know.
So
but that's interesting. So again, the refill's really nice. I like the refill on this.
It's a different refill than that one.
The metal section on this particular pen, I've talked about this I don't love metal sections, but I like the heft of the pen. It's where I don't feel like I necessarily need a heavy pen with a fountain pen. I feel like I like a little more heft with a roller ball or a ballpoint. I'm not sure why that is, but...
So it's interesting to try them all, continuously, and then you get the different... This is how we would do it in the store. If you came into my store, I would pull these different pens out based on how you write. And because if you write really tiny, then a ballpoint does tend to work better.
Yeah. Gonna switch pages and go to the next one. So yeah, I love the look of the studio, and I always have. Even the studio fountain pen, I love this matte blue finish on the pen.
Yeah,
the clip is interesting. I don't know how I feel about the clip. You get the triangle from this angle and I shouldn't say, but a pelican's bill from this angle is kind of what it looks like, honestly. So.
So now we have the Waterman, and the Waterman roller ball is probably one of my personal favorites. Let's see if I have a refill. Oh!
Wah, wah, it's a fountain pen.
Okay, so I should have paid more attention. We'll go with this one. This is an Expert 3 roller ball.
Expert 3. So we've got the steel and
stainless with the gold trim. It comes in stainless with the chrome trim as well.
I love the feel in the hand. I love this is the only one that has kind of that fountain pen shaped, concave section a little bit, which I really like. It's a nice feel to the converter, or to the refill.
It may be running out because it was a display in the store.
Yeah, so
I brought a spare refill though.
Yeah, I like it. I think I would want a slightly wider line on this, and I don't know, do Watermans, they only come with one size? That's too bad. And
all the Experts and all their lines just do the one refill, one roller ball.
It's an attractive pen though. It really is an attractive pen.
Here's the ballpoint version, and they do come in different sizes in the ballpoint version. You can get different refills.
Oh man, I'm not. Apparently, I am not a ballpoint person. I think we're okay going that route. I'm just not a ballpoint person. You're right. It does. It does work if I were to write small.
So people who write small really do like that thinner. I mean, they need that.
I don't know that you're going to be able to read that, but I did write small right here. I can't tell if you'll be able to read that on the video. So, I mean, it's not bad, but I don't think it's for me.
So you've learned something.
I have. I'm a rollerball gel refill person. I tend to like the wider lines on that.
Which I kind of
like
expected.
The saturated color. I mean, there's a lot of that's the thing I find interesting is there's a lot of similarities between what I like in the ball tipped version of the pens and that carries over from what I like on a fountain pen. It's like I like the more vibrant colors. I like the more liquid ink flow. I like the smoothness and not having to work so hard to move the pen across the paper. And I like the pen that's comfortable in the hand. I think of all the ones that I like out of this, my two favorite are the retro, which is a little skinnier than I normally like, but it's got the heft and the refill really is wonderful on this. This is the
and the fact that you can always trade it out for a different size refill makes it really a handy option.
And because Parker is the most common refill, like there's tons of refill that I could get out there. I don't have to go with Monteverde or retro or, I could go with
Schmidt or
Schmidt's a pretty popular one, is it not? So I like that a lot about this. For sheer comfort in the hand, of course, I would pick the Montegrappa Heartwood. It's beautiful, gorgeous color.
It is the more expensive of the retail options.
Yeah, which is not a surprise for me. But I like this a lot too. This is the ballpoint refill, I know. But
so we can switch it out. But that's the plus side to some of these. So I like playing with some of the ballpoints that I can change out to roller balls. And then with the retro, it's the opposite. It starts out as a roller and you can change it to a ballpoint if you choose to. Or if you're wanting to do a fun color, because they don't make that many colors, you can do the gel refill in one of the many different bright colors.
So what is your favorite? Like, if you had to pick, this is the question I get asked all the time. If you had to pick one pen, of these ball-tipped pens, what would you pick?
Probably the Lambie. That being said, I'm not a big fan of the Lambie fountain pens, but the Swift is something that I really love. So these two are probably my two.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of forgot about this. I really do like this one a lot too. I like that refill a bunch.
I think that I like the modern look of it, and it's just got a clean line to it. And the ink, I just love the ink. So this is my go-to for sure for the under 100. That being said, I'm a fan of the Montegrappas, the newer ones that are more simple, such as this. I like all three colors in this new one. And I love that I can play with the ink as far as like change it out. I can trade it and do what I want to do with it. So I tend to gravitate towards these.
Cool.
And I like retros too, and I probably have 20.
The thing about retros is they come out, in one of our currently inked videos, we talked about how the pen community kind of loses interest after 3 or 4 months. Well, retro has figured out, I'm going to come out with a new edition every 6 months, or I don't know.
They do more often. They just came out with something new. They just came out with the new dog rescue and the cat rescue just this week.
They've figured out. I mean, it's a larger company, and they put out a lot of pens. So but they can do smaller special edition in batches. Like they figured out how to apply an exterior to kind of a base pen and do it. And
they're actually surprisingly small. They have less than 10 employees.
Oh, really?
But they have an awesome creative staff, and they're always they're really easy to deal with. Of course, we do our own custom pen with them, so I appreciate their talent and the fact that they're just always coming up with something new, and they work really hard.
Very cool.
Yep. So,
all right. Well, thank you so much for bringing some pens.
Sure. Some pens that weren't fountain pens.
I have something to think on. All right. Thank you for joining us for this fountain pen and rollerball and gel point review-ish, overview, experimentation. Yeah. So hopefully that was interesting or informative. If you are new to this area, we've got dog hair floating around, as we always do here at the Pen Habit Studios. So we will see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Bye.